In late October 2012, the East Coast faced Hurricane Sandy, a storm of unprecedented size and power. Sandy was a superstorm, a rare hybrid of a hurricane and a winter storm. It became the largest Atlantic hurricane on record, with winds extending over 1,150 miles. Sandy's impact was catastrophic, causing widespread flooding, power outages, and billions in damage. The storm left a trail of devastation, etching its name in history. Sandy's journey began in the Caribbean Sea, where it rapidly intensified into a major hurricane. It made landfall in Jamaica on October 24th as a Category 1 hurricane, causing significant damage. From there, it continued northward, battering the Bahamas and Cuba before setting its sights on the United States. As Sandy tracked up the east coast, it interacted with a cold front moving in from the west and a high-pressure system over the North Atlantic. This rare confluence of weather systems fueled Sandy's growth and transformed it into a massive hybrid storm. On October 29th, Sandy made landfall near Brigantine, New Jersey as a post-tropical cyclone with hurricane-force winds. Although no longer technically a hurricane, Sandy's impact was just as devastating. The storm surge, reaching a record 13.88 feet in New York Harbor, inundated coastal communities. High winds toppled trees, power lines, and even buildings, leaving millions without electricity. Hurricane Sandy's impact was widespread and devastating, affecting millions from the Caribbean to Canada. In the US, it caused $70 billion in damage, one of the costliest natural disasters. Over 285 lives were lost across the Caribbean, US and Canada. New York City and New Jersey were among the hardest hit areas. The storm surge flooded subway tunnels and left neighborhoods underwater. The Rockaways in Queens, New York were particularly devastated. Homes, businesses, and critical infrastructure were destroyed, leaving residents desperate for help. Section 4. Rising to the challenge, the response to Sandy. In the face of such widespread destruction, the response to Hurricane Sandy was swift and multifaceted. First responders, including firefighters, police officers, and emergency medical technicians, worked tirelessly to rescue stranded residents, clear debris, and provide medical attention to those in need. The National Guard was deployed to assist with rescue efforts and maintain order in affected areas. The American Red Cross and other relief organizations mobilized quickly, setting up shelters, providing food, water, and other essential supplies to displaced residents. The federal government, under the leadership of President Barack Obama, declared a state of emergency for affected areas, releasing federal funds for disaster relief and recovery efforts. The Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA, played a critical role in coordinating the response, providing assistance to individuals, families, and businesses impacted by the storm. In the immediate aftermath of Sandy, stories of resilience, compassion, and community spirit emerged. Section 5. Picking up the pieces, the long road to recovery. The road to recovery from Hurricane Sandy was long and arduous. Millions of people were left without power, some for weeks on end. Transportation systems were crippled, making it difficult for people to get around and for businesses to resume operations. The rebuilding process was slow and costly. Homes and businesses had to be repaired or rebuilt, and critical infrastructure such as roads, bridges, and power grids had to be restored. The storm also had a significant impact on the mental health of those who experienced it. Many people faced the trauma of losing their homes, belongings, and even loved ones. The stress of displacement, financial hardship, and the uncertainty of the future took a toll on the well-being of many. In the years following Sandy, communities came together to support one another, rebuild their lives, and prepare for the future. Section 6. Lessons learned preparing for the next superstorm. Hurricane Sandy served as a stark reminder of the destructive power of nature and the importance of disaster preparedness. The storm highlighted the vulnerability of coastal communities to the impacts of climate change, such as sea level rise and more intense storms. It also underscored the need for investment in resilient infrastructure, such as seawalls, storm surge barriers, and elevated transportation systems. In the wake of Sandy, there was a renewed focus on improving building codes, strengthening evacuation plans, and enhancing early warning systems. Communities also learned the importance of community engagement and preparedness. Neighborhood groups, faith-based organizations, and volunteer networks played a vital role in supporting residents during and after the storm. The experience of Hurricane Sandy taught us that we are all in this together, and that by working collaboratively, we can overcome even the most daunting challenges.